First of all, I do want to know before anything else, what challenges were you facing before implementing mConsent?
Well, we didn't really have a fluid way to do consent forms unless we were
Mhm.
to have individual signature pads in every single room or just use traditional paper. Having something that actually integrates really seamlessly in with Dentrix and to have it actually integrate is
Mhm.
massively helpful.
And was there anything in particular that made you decide to move forward with mConsent? Like anything that stood out to you compared to other solutions?
This was actually something that my dentist researched and said, I think that this is something that can really, really help our practice. It really has been a game changer for our office.
That's incredible. I'm guessing your onboarding experience was like the setup process and everything was smooth for your team?
Everything was very smooth. We could customize our forms, and
Mhm.
everything was incredibly easy, very user friendly.
And
Yeah.
I would be interested in knowing what improvements have you noticed since using mConsent?
Yeah, I know that my front office has really appreciated it with our existing, patient check-in and updates. And so if they're not completing it online prior to, she has them check in
Mhm.
on the kiosk, and it forces them to complete their paperwork right then and there. So it's wonderful. And then it also checks them in on our system. So in the event we're away from the front desk, the rest of the team can be notified that the patient has arrived and they're ready.
And would you recommend mConsent to other practices?
Yes.
What actually made you decide to use the mConsent kiosk? Yeah.
Because usually I have someone sitting up right at the front desk, and so
Mhm.
she checks patients in, you know what I mean? So it has been helpful in the sense, like I said, if we're in our morning huddle, patients that arrive as we ask them to early to complete their paperwork, they come
Mhm.
in, they check themselves in, and then that part is just done, and we can move on with checking in other patients. It's very nice.
That's good to know. I mean, that answers my question, right? You might have noticed time saving at the front desk while using the kiosk and
Yeah.
reduce paperwork or manual entry as well.
Yes, so much reduced paperwork. My goodness, it's been incredibly, incredibly easy to be able to create the packets and send those out, to have our post-op instructions, our warranty, everything in a packet that can just go straight to the patient right there in chair. Absolutely incredible.
And I'm actually pretty excited to know, how has your front desk team responded to the kiosk? Has it reduced stress during busy hours for them?
Yes, it has. It was so if Barbara or I were on the phone, we will just indicate to patients to please check in at the kiosk, and so it does take some stress off, and we don't have anyone missed in the waiting room.
And in one sentence, wrapping this up, how has the kiosk changed your front desk overall?
It has changed it exponentially. It's made everything easier, cleaner. Like I said, we're not missing patients. Paperwork is complete. Consent forms are done. There's nothing slipping through the cracks.
Wonderful. That's what I like to hear.
I got to say that I've been working at the same practice for 15 years,
Mhm.
and we have implemented so many different, types of policies or softwares or programs. Like, you said that they'll promise you the world and not deliver. This so far has been the only consistent one in all of that time. So if that tells mConsent anything, just from my personal experience, and there's a lot of it. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the service that you guys are providing to, your doctors as well as your patients, and going through these days, which are so busy, with a smile on your
Mhm.
face, we all appreciate that very, very much. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, and I would thank you so much.